Great. Well, we're here with Stafford Masie from Thumbs Up. Hi, Stafford. You launched the Absa Payment Pebble back in June now. How's it been doing?
It's been doing well. The expectations were much lower than what the achievements are at the moment, and I think MPOS, mobile point of sale, is one of those things that we don't fully understand the addressable market. You know, we don't understand when you release a product like ours that allows for card present acceptance on a mobile device at 50 Rand a month, what the impact will be. You know, and what we're seeing is thousands of devices out there today. So, and we keep growing. I think the estimate growth month on month is averaging about 85% month on month growth. You know, we're talking about Pebble amounts in terms of people adopting the Pebble, but also transaction growth as people get comfortable with the Pebble. They're using the Pebble more, so they're doing more things with the Pebble, and the Pebble starts penetrating the cash environment more. So they're using cash less because their customers are finding out that they can have their cards accepted by this merchant. So it's quite exciting.
Great, excellent. Well, you're announcing a new PIN input method for the Payment Pebble. Previously used a scroll wheel for PIN input. Tell us more about the new PIN entry method that you guys are going to be using with the Pebble.
Okay, so before we had the scroll wheel, and as easy as the product is to use, if you take a look at the way the Pebble works, I mean, it's incredibly simple. You take the Pebble, you plug it into the audio jack, you launch the mobile app, and it just works. When you get it the first time, it says, I don't know who I am. You put in the merchant ID, you get an OTP, you put in that via SMS, you put that into the app, and boom, it wakes up and it says, hey, I'm Duncan Plumbers. And thereafter, the identity lives in the Pebble. And the Pebble, just wherever you plug it in, if the mobile app can run in that mobile operating system, it works. So that simplicity, we wanted to keep going with that simplicity. What we picked up in the field with the scroll wheel was that there's a large amount of people that are not used to touch screens. They're not used to haptic feedback. They're not used to scrolling on a touchscreen because they come from the BlackBerry world. And we had some cardholders that would put their cards into the Pebble, get the Pebble to do the PIN entry, and they'd struggle. So we got timeouts. Not because people weren't happy or anything like that, it's just people didn't understand how to do it. And they go away back to their BlackBerries with physical keypads and they couldn't do it. So we said, how could we solve this? And we also wanted to ensure that we get the PCI certificate, the certification associated with it. So
just explain what that PCI certificate is and why it's important.
Well, the PCI certificate is a global recognition. The council recognizes that your product stands up to the technical merits from a security perspective. That's enforced via the PCI PTS regulations and tests, etc. So we finally have our PCI PTS certificate in hand. You can go to the PCI website, you can go to our website, and you can take a look at it. So we're very excited about that. It's also a world first. It's a world first if you take a look at the way our PIN entry method works today. It is a world first in terms of achieving that PCI certificate. So it's an incredible small device, PCI certified, plugs into the audio jack, and the new PIN entry method is extremely usable. I mean, it's exponentially more usable than the scroll wheel. Why? Because it's more universal. So it doesn't matter what your background is. It doesn't matter even if you have never used a smartphone. Now you can do PIN authentication with your card in the Pebble. So the way it works, very simply put, is we use a randomly generated number in the keypad to render a scrambled physical keypad on the display. So on the physical display of the Pebble, you actually see a little keypad. And on the mobile app itself is a ghost pad, but it's a location indicator of where the keys are on the Pebble. So we'll scramble the keypad on the Pebble. You hit your digit in terms of where its location is on the mobile app, and it scrambles again, and the next digit, the location is what you're selecting statically on the mobile app. So it's a lot more user-friendly, a lot more usable. It's passed the PCI certification, and it's a world-first PIN entry method that's done this. And it's invented here, we've patented it, and we've globally patented it, and we're very excited about it. So it's from a usability perspective, from a certification perspective, now we're through the door. Big thing for us though now, that simplicity of usage is permeating right through the product, not just in terms of its use, plugging it in, and it just works type of thing, but also from a card holder putting their card inside of it and doing the authentication of their chip and PIN credentials on the mobile app. So it's much more secure. And this, I believe this is the silver bullet for mobile point of sale. Because what we avoided was a keypad. People say, why don't you just do a keypad? Well, keypads, physical keypads, no one's really gone into that world. And if you take a look at the large mobile point of sale implementations internationally, not any single one of them is done at your kind of exponential scale with mini keypads. Keypads are not secure. Keypads have inherent physical vectors of attack. You know, you can watch someone putting in their PIN on a static keypad. You can pick up heat signatures, fingerprints. Now imagine you have hundreds of thousands of these little mini things with these inherent flaws going out there. Not sustainable. We had to rethink PIN authentication, and we've done it now. And so our product doesn't require keypad, but it still works the way a keypad works, just more secure. So even if you can watch me, and we'll do a demonstration where I'll show you, watch me put in my PIN, you still can't decipher it. The security lies in the Pebble, not in the mobile app. So we're never capturing your PIN on the phone, because the phone and the mobile app never understands what's on the Pebble. The Pebble never discloses that. The Pebble speaks in an encrypted fashion. So uber secure, uber usable, and we're not going to do Bluetooth. That's a thing inside of our company, because just like keypads have an inherent security issue, Bluetooth has an inherent sustainability issue. You cannot launch a product, hundreds of thousands of Pebbles out there, and we have to communicate via Bluetooth with a third-party app and a third-party device. It's just not sustainable. I mean, Bluetooth requires some technical literacy on the edge. It requires an understanding in your call center of every single implementation across every single mobile device out there. Not sustainable. So one of the things that's also we're very excited today to tell you is we've upgraded our audio implementation in terms of how the Pebble speaks via the phone. There's an interface between the phone and the Pebble that we've improved. And that improvement results in us being able to support more than 90 to 95% of all the smartphones in the market. And that's a big one, right? And it's taken us a lot of learnings, and our engineers are really, really smart, and they've managed to do this. So scrambled keypad plus that audio implementation means universal accessibility and much, much simpler.
But you mentioned at the beginning of the interview that you've already sold thousands of these devices into the market through apps. So what about the guys who've already bought this product? Are they going to be able to benefit from these new features?
Yeah, so one of the cool things is something that we spoke about the first time we spoke about the Pebble, and now we're actually going to personify it, and that's over-the-air updates. So we said before, you have the ability to remotely manage the Pebble. So you can remotely activate the Pebble, you can remotely deactivate the Pebble, and you can remotely reactivate the Pebble in real time. And that's a really cool kind of real-time management of Pebble feature. And we expose that via AppSA, and we will be exposing that via merchants too, so they can manage the Pebbles themselves. But one of the things that we're going to be doing is over-the-air updates. So when AppSA updates their mobile application, when people plug it in, one of these mornings you'll see, it'll ask you if I can update, you click yes, and it'll take approximately 5 minutes, and it'll upgrade the firmware physically on the Pebble and the mobile application. And it takes about 5 minutes. We'll do the demonstration later on, folks can see. And that takes you from Pebble today to the latest Pebble. With the new PIN entry method and the new mobile app that's a lot more efficient, and the new audio implementation that supports more phones. So very exciting.
The other big thing you're working on is an API, or application programming interface, for third-party developers. Tell us about the thinking behind that, and what you expect third-party developers are likely to do with the Pebble going forward.
Well, if you take a look at it, the Pebble today uses a mobile app on the phone. That's the AppSA mobile app. That's the AppSA app for doing the workflow, the EMV workflow for the transaction. And the Pebble kind of follows those prompts as we move along. What we're finding is, is it info@thumbsup.com? People have been emailing us. I promise you, we've had more than, I think, 2,000 emails just from South Africa alone, from people that are interested in using the payment Pebble in their third-party application. So they'd actually like to take the Pebble and plug it in and have their app running on their phone, speaking to the Pebble, not necessarily only using it for payment alone, but integrated with their third-party app. And yeah, today we're happy to announce developer.thumbsup.com is live. Folks can go to developer.thumbsup.com and actually sign up, request an invite, and imminently we'd like to release the APIs to those folks that are interested. And yeah, you can, if you've written an app on Droid, iOS, or the latest Blackberries, or we absolutely encourage you to get an invite. We'll send you the APIs. And the nice thing about these APIs is that you don't require physical Pebble whilst you're doing development. We've actually built an emulator as part of the suite. And when you're integrating with the Pebble, in your developer environment, we'll have an emulator running as though a Pebble is plugged into the device and working, and you're going through the entire workflow. So like an import transaction, a card being pulled out, all those things we're catering for from an error handling perspective in that emulator. And yeah, so folks don't need a physical Pebble. It's once you are done and you're ready, you can then go and get a Pebble, and then it's plugged in, and Bob's your uncle, you're good to go.
And what sort of app developers are going to be taking advantage of this? What sort of apps do you expect will embed this functionality into their software?
I mean, we've had one that just springs to mind right away as you ask that question is someone that wrote a triathlon application. And the way it works today is they've got this triathlon app running on a tablet, and it's linked to a Bluetooth thermal printer. And so when there's a triathlon, people show up and they pay this lady in cash. So she has there was one of those green or blue cash boxes with a key. She takes the cash and then she enters whatever the details is on the app, and then it prints out this thing that these triathletes pasted on either their thighs or their chest, and it's their number, their barcode, so it's the digit that recognizes who they are. Well, that lady's experience now will be completely different, or it will be augmented. She can take her application, integrate it with the Pebble, and essentially plug the Pebble in and accept card payments that goes directly into her account. So she's got less cash that she has to handle at the end of the day. More convenient for the cardholder because, 600-700 Rand entry can now be paid for via card. It's just convenience on both sides.
Excellent. Lastly, Stafford, what else can we expect from the Payment Pebble this year? What else are you working on?
Well, I mean, one of the things that we're going to be announcing imminently is the companion app. And the companion app is a suite of applications that we've written for enterprises. And it allows for greater usage of the Pebble outside of just kind of app integration. If you want to do invoice reconciliation, gratuity, all these extra features that your little line of business, because most people don't want the Payment Pebble just for themselves. It's a plumber company that has 5 plumbers, or it's a larger company that has multiple franchises. How do you employ the Pebble in that environment? How do you integrate that transaction details with an ERP system or a line of business system? Well, the companion suite of applications will do that. That's one of the things that we're announcing today. And our intent is, we're very excited about this, the companion suite of apps will do this transaction management, this transaction tracking, and you can overlay the transaction capturing process. So you can provide an invoice number, you can provide gratuity, you can do cash outs for your drivers, etc. We're going to open source this. We're very, very excited about this. So this is taking it not just from people taking the Pebble and plugging it into their apps to make it work, but we're going to actually release the portal, we're going to release this application, and people can make it better. So if they've got custom integration, custom things that they want in there, they can integrate it. Their user interface, they can customize, they can personalize. The merchant portal, they can make better. And as long as they stay part of the community, so the license under which we'll release it will allow people's inventions to cascade back in so everyone can benefit. So we're very, very excited about that, the companion suite of apps.
Excellent. What's next?
Yeah, I know it's a lot that we're announcing today.
Sure.
I mean, if we recap, it's the kind of the new Pebble with the new PIN entry, and that will do over-the-air updates. We're going to have an application suite now for third parties. They can go to developer.thumbsup.com and get it. The companion app that we'll release in an open source way. There's rumors out there about what we're doing, this, that, and the other. We don't want to say much, but in the next few weeks, I think we'll have another major announcement. And we're very, very excited about it. And I think it will change the game for mobile point of sale and hopefully change that game on a global basis. So we're quite excited. There's big inventions and innovations still happening within ThumbsUp, and we'll keep cascading it over the next few months. But this year, there's still one significant announcement left.
Great. Thanks for talking to Tech Central. Thanks,
Thank you.
Stafford.
Thanks, Duncan.